Welcome.
Good morning, Unity Namaste of Ajijic. Hello, everybody on Zoom there. I'm doing my magic, you see? Wow. I wish you could see or feel or know how much joy are in this room. It's beautiful. I'm Reverend Johannes Jimenez Hartog.
And I'm Jack Hartog, otherwise known as Johannes' happy and contented personal slave.
So today we have a beautiful service, Sunday service, but we will talk about that a little bit later. Let us start with prayer, because Unity was founded actually based on prayer. Prayer is such an important part of what we are. So I invite you, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes and take a deep breath and just again feel the presence of the divine in this moment and open your heart to the experience of these 40 minutes together. Abro mi corazón al amor. I open my heart to love. Abro mi mente a Dios. I open my mind to God. Mi alma es una con todo el universo. My soul is one with the whole universe. In this quiet moment, I would like to read something from the book of Neil Ragin that's called The Enlightenment, the Wall of Thought. Quiet yourself. Quiet your self-talk so you can perceive the peace that always waits behind the unsubstantial illusion created by your ego's fears, projecting onto your wall of thought. Take refuge in the eternal safety of the present moment. Rest in the ever presence. Rest in the ever presence. Rest in God. Breathing in and out. Rest in God. Beloved God, to you, all hearts are open. To you, all longings speak. And to you, no secret thing is hidden. In this beautiful morning, bring to my awareness my true nature. Purify the thoughts of my heart through the unspeakable gift of your grace, so I can love you with all I am and for all you are. In your light, beloved God, as I rest in you, show me to emerge as the divine creature that I am. Amen, amen, and amen.
It's almost a shame to do anything more after that prayer. I said it's almost a shame. It's on. It's Jack on. Can you hear me?
Let me change out the battery.
Okay.
You can use my
I
mic.
use this for the time being.
Okay.
I'm so powerful, I blew out the battery.
Yeah.
What I said was,
Thank
it's a shame almost to say anything after that prayer.
Hmm.
Nonetheless, I'm going to read the daily word for today. It's Sunday, February 6th, 2022. The daily word is dominion. Claiming dominion, I am calm and confident. I am a powerful spiritual being endowed with dominion, the authority to take command of my thoughts, words, and actions.
Amen.
Even as I work to change my circumstances, I remember I am not constrained by what is happening around me. Claiming dominion, I choose my response in all situations. I live with poise and confidence. I claim dominion over my thoughts and feelings. When I recognize limiting thoughts, I train myself to affirm my spiritual power and freedom. Divine wisdom guides me. I feel the strength of the indwelling Christ presence moment by moment, thought by thought, as I use my dominion to establish a positive, fulfilling direction for my life. Today's daily word was inspired by the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion."
Amen.
Okay, Robbie, we have an announcement. We are now an official Unity ministry.
Yay! The whole planet, yay! Woohoo!
And to become, when you become a Unity official ministry, if you subscribe to the branding program, which we did, you get a logo. And there it is.
That's our logo. That's sent from the Unity Worldwide Ministries, the association.
Right. So this is our official logo, and it shows that we have been approved by Unity Worldwide Ministries.
Wow.
So
wow.
we'll be seeing this. We'll be getting a website. We're going to be putting up a donation box. We're going to be a normal ministry.
Yes.
As normal as Johannes and I can make it, which is a challenge.
And we will have also our chaplaincy program. I will announce that at the end of the service.
Right, at the end of the service, stick around. We're going to pass out some flyers for the people here. It will not be on Zoom.
So, as I told you, today we have a beautiful service. I'm going to introduce our Minister of Residence for the month of February, which is Reverend David MacArthur. Reverend David left the practice of law to become an ordained Unity minister. Over his more than 35 years in ministry,
he started when he was 2.
He served as senior minister of 3 dynamic Unity churches. He was on Unity's International Board of Trustees
Together.
with you,
Yeah, we were together.
with Jack, and was chair of that board. I remember that. Reverend David was a director and trainer at the world-renowned Heart Math Institute. He has shared the amazing role of the heart in human transformation with thousands of people, including clergy from many religions, international religious conferences, Silent Unity, and Unity's ministerial students.
And we're grateful he shared it with us too, the two of us.
Yeah. David is the author of 3 books, The Intelligent Heart, Your Spiritual Heart, and The Monk's Choice. So, beloved ones, let us open our heart and I invite you.
And our ears.
I invite you to connect with this beautiful soul that we have here present at Namaste. So let us receive our beloved Reverend David with all our love and a great applause, Reverend David. Hey, here's somebody.
That is an illusion. Let's get that clear right away. Fortunately, I know it's an illusion. Otherwise, that'd be a problem for us all. Oh, how wonderful. Oh, my heart. Wow, I just look out at these beautiful beings. What a joy. What a joy it is to me to be back with this community here physically and this community here virtually. But it's a delight. And so I realize that this is a very special gathering of people. And so I'm going to apologize to you to begin with, because I'm going to teach and share something that I'm kind of guessing is going to be a little clunky. It is to me a most meaningful part and quality of our spiritual selves that grows in our spiritual journey. And in 40 years of ministry, I have never heard it spoken of. Now, there have been references to it, many beautiful ones, but they say, oh, that's there, and then they go on. And I have heard outstanding spiritual leaders. But in my experience, part of the gift that I have been given is to have had the opportunity to work with the heart where this experience resides. And so I have the opportunity to share this to people who are committed in their spiritual growth, which means to me that for each of us, this aspect of our spiritual self is right now deepening and growing and is tremendously meaningful. This is the experience of spiritual understanding. Spiritual understanding. Now, there's many, many terms for that. That's Unity's term for it. Okay, it's enlightenment and revelation, and just lots of different things. And we've, I'm sure, heard many teachings that acknowledges that it exists, but I have never received instruction on what it really is and how to work with it. So I was trying to think, how can I explain this in a way that's meaningful for everyone? And I thought maybe the easiest was to go into how it awakened in me and what that experience was. So I'm going to share with you a set of experiences that were part of, now that I look back and look at that set of experiences, I realize, okay, that was the opening unfolding of the experience of spiritual understanding within my being. I shared a part of this when I was here last time, and not only do I not like to share, but this is personal enough that I probably have not shared it more than half a dozen times in my 40 years of ministry. So, but because I think we understand each other better through experience than we do through description, I want to share the experience with you. And I share it knowing that we all have this experience in our own forms. Mine isn't different. I'm not exceptional. It's just that this is how this set of experiences that unfolded my spiritual understanding took place in my life. So it basically happened at a very wonderful point. I was just getting out of law school. There's maybe you remember, Jack, there's a marvelous thing after all this study, you actually think you know something.
That's definitely an illusion.
Yeah, it's definitely an illusion. But young man, I had a wonderful wife, just a marvelous woman, and she was about to begin. She had graduated, was going to begin a kindergarten. She was just thrilled with that. We had a beautiful little baby daughter, and she was not quite a year old yet. And that was just the delight of our lives. And then my wife was murdered. And suddenly my world collapsed. And as I sought to then put that world together, there was one thing that was very clear to me. The greatest need that was there was this little baby. She had lost her mother, who was everything to her. I was a loving dad, but Mom was everything. And she needed such love. She needed that care that her mother would have brought to her. And so strong that could help her journey through this painful change she had no way of comprehending. But for me, it was very hard. I could feel my love and respond, but there was this part of me that was caught in deep grief and pain, and a part of me that wanted to get caught in anger and resentment towards this person who had taken a gun and ended this beautiful young life. And what I was aware of was that I was unable to bring the level of love and care to my daughter. Well, this other part of me was also present. And I didn't have a clue what to do. So I had enough study to have a sense that prayer works. What I'm going to tell you is desperate screaming prayer works. Okay, you don't have to get it right. But I asked. I just asked for help. I had no idea how to journey through all the changes and what was going on with me. I could hardly understand them. So what happened was maybe, several weeks later, I would guess, I was playing with my little daughter on the floor, and I just got up because it was a little uncomfortable and sat on the couch for a moment as she continued to play with whatever. And I was kind of thinking, okay, what do I need to do about lunch or something? I don't know. And then I heard her giggling. And I looked over and she was holding out her arms and laughing and then pulling back in, and with that beautiful delight that babies have. And I realized she was playing with someone. And I had seen that play many times before. She was playing with her mother. Now I could not see her mother, but I could feel. Well, I'll just say that it let my heart open. And I felt such gratitude, such love for these two wonderful beings. And then a love filled me. surrounded me, uplifted me. It was so great that I had no sense of space or time. It was beyond anything I can describe or share. I pray that you have touched that at some time in your life, and if you have, you know of what I speak. And then at some point, I was sitting on the couch again, quiet, and looking at the baby playing quietly by itself on the floor. Now that was a powerful and a beautiful experience for me, but I didn't begin to understand it until a couple days later when I realized I was no longer in that struggle. I felt no anger, no hatred towards this young man. That whatever forgiveness is was complete. And the peace around that was real. And the grief was there, but it was not overwhelming or destroying my ability to love and care for this child. It was balanced and part of a sacred process that I was able to journey through. So that, and I've shared that before. The peace, the healing, the ability then to bring the love that this little girl needed. What I haven't shared before is what followed. I was at a point of struggle with something that was very meaningful to me. I had heard these crazy ideas that God was love and that it was all God and it was all good and that was what reality was. And I heard those stupid things and I looked at what had taken place and I said, bullshit. But it wouldn't let me go. So I said, okay, if that's true, show me. I'm willing to see it, but I'm not stupid. This is pain and this is real. And this isn't goodness and love. It's not. So show me. What unfolded for me, and I say this at the same time, I want to say, be very careful what you ask for. Okay. What unfolded for me unfolded over about 2 years. And through that time, bits of information and awareness and inner experiences unfolded, and some of them very powerful and some of them very casual. But through that time, there was a growing inside of what I now recognize was spiritual understanding. It wasn't that information could explain what took place, but I could understand the flow of our soul's journey as we had made choices through time, as we in our love made choices to help and support others, as we had grown to where we could journey through this experience. And I got to tell you, I was very demanding of this understanding of love, because I'm not interested in following a path that's not true. And I've seen enough in religion to know there's a lot I'm not interested in following. It's not that it's not wonderful and blessing to many people, but I had a need in me. And so I went through every single moment of that experience for every person and the effects. And there was a lot of pain and a lot of loss. And in every single moment, I found an amazing presence of love. I found a gentleness and a grace that let me understand it differently. And if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here with you now. But I know it's real. I also know that experience was real. The pain is real. The struggle is real. The impact is real. But it's not a separate reality. It is a part within a greater reality. And in that greater reality, even as we journey this linear path, that love is in every experience, in every moment. And what grew in me was that we call it spiritual understanding, but it's really the ability to touch and experience the presence of that love, to know it so strong and beautiful that the mind, for all its brilliance, just shuts up and says, yeah, that's right, it's true, it's love. That is spiritual understanding. And one of the simplest teachings, the few teachings I actually found out it from one of my favorite teachers, Dr. Emily Cady, an early unity mystic, if you will. But Dr. Cady said, spiritual understanding comes from the heart. And when I look back, I realized it was the opening of my heart that let me enter into a love that could then let my spirit pour in and give me understanding so that I could touch life with the spiritual eyes as well as my physical eyes. Okay, and so I have come to treasure that gift. And one of the great gifts given to me was being at HeartMath for many years and getting to really study at depth this amazing place where we connect directly with our spiritual self and its infinite presence. So, in this month of the heart, as James called it, we'll be exploring that and some of the amazing discoveries that are there. But I want to go on in this understanding of what spiritual understanding is, because we experience, and you do hear wonderful spiritual teachings. And what I have seen is that there are, as beings come forward to whom this is their path, this learning of and sharing of this knowledge and this part of our being, that there are many brilliant, beautiful spiritual teachers, ministers, writers, spiritual leaders of many different types, who have had deep experiences where they came to love this and they've followed and have educated themselves, and they can share great knowledge and understanding. There is a different sharing that takes place that is not in the content. It's in the energy. And that energy is shared between our hearts. Literally, the electromagnetic field of your heart It's called the intuitive field. Okay, and it is how we share the non-sensory information. It's how we share. It's one of the reasons why prayer can be so powerful. You know, when I'm knowing your wholeness, I can say it. And if you got to brain it all, it says, no, that hurt. But there's another flow of awareness that takes place between our hearts where that knowing is shared and accepted and experienced spiritually. And that part of the beauty and the power of prayer. And so it is this experience into the understanding of the heart, the ability, I'll explain it this way. The mind works with things linearly. And that's because we made this choice. We said, hey, my soul will gain a lot if I jump into that third dimensional dimension, get one of those really cute little human body things, and play there for a number of years, maybe a number of lifetimes, who knows? Okay, but I'll gain a lot there, but the reason is because I get to see creation unfold linearly. Now, that's not normally the way creation unfolds, but I get to experience that. And so I learn as a spiritual being, as a creative being. What a marvelous opportunity. But within that greater whole, it's not linear. It's wholeness. And that wholeness is always there. But in that linear thing, that's what I saw in their linear thing. Yeah, there were things unfolding there that were not yet in their wholeness, but they were still that love unfolding. But this was a point where to experience that way was to experience them painfully. Okay, see, so it's different. And so what happens is in this setting, when we're talking, we're holding consciousness together. Okay, we are sharing at that level. And I want to acknowledge it's through the electromagnetic field of the heart, which is not measurable to anyone that's in Australia, because we don't have instruments that go that far. But there's also research that says that the spiritual element of that operates outside of time and space. So it doesn't matter. We're still doing it. Isn't that great? But to those who would share, there is a growth into spiritual understanding as their heart grows, as their relationship to that love grows. And there are some of those that are no longer speaking and sharing from knowledge and belief. They're because they're living it. They are experiencing it and sharing the experience of that divine presence through the words that it brings to the mind. That's our mystics. And I almost hate to use the word because we run back into old Catholic stuff and all sorts of things. But know that we are blessed today. We are blessed that there are such wonderful beings among us today who can teach and share from that. And to experience that, one of the reasons it is of such value is that deeper frequency that flows between our hearts strengthens our own connection with spirit, deepens our own. Now, forgive me, when I say this, I see the set of frequencies that the science has explained, but that's not what it's about. It deepens the experience that we are having of the divine. Okay, so to experience that mystical presence and is such a gift. And there's another gift. Now, you've experienced that. I know you've had such presence, and I know you have felt that. Okay, so I was looking at what I saw taking
That's
place.
pretty cute stuff, isn't it? Hi, baby. What is it? What is he? What is he?
Oh, that's
Yorkie poo. How old is your Yorkie?
Oh, what
All right. So it's always necessary to keep both lightheartedness and lots of forgiveness going all the time. There is a new energy. It's not new in that it hasn't been here before. It's new in that it is a time in which we as humankind are using it for a tremendous growth in consciousness. And it is an energy carried by the female mystic. Okay, we have marvelous male mystic says, I know you know. But what happens is that energy from the female mystic has a subtler frequency that opens deeper levels of our feeling. And it's just, and it happens energetically. I know it also happens symbolically because we communicate symbolically very, very deeply. But we are at a time in which, I want to say, this is David's judgment, we don't have enough of the marvelous women mystics leading us in the world. Now, it's not that there aren't a lot here, but many in the journey that their soul has picked up have not chosen to be public presences. And, I respect that the divine has its plan better than I would. So, or if she's got it wrong, I'll forgive her. But that when that symbol and that special energy shows up, it's for a purpose. And so when I realized that we were stepping into a new time in the dynamic, when there would be that type of leadership here, so glad. Because I saw how deep and beautiful that which would flow to and through us, because it's not about us. We're just instruments learning along the way, but it flows through us. And when I was sitting there the other day, and I've had the honor of knowing Reverend Johannes, and know she'll forgive me after this. And I knew that was where she lived from. But then I saw too that was where she was giving from. And I thought, okay, what does that tell me about this group of people? This, Ajijic to wherever in the world we are. And I understood that meant that there was a new level of consciousness that we were birthing in the world. Now, we're not alone. There are groups of people doing beautiful work as humankind is in so many great struggles. The struggles do not compare to the amount of love that is being brought through hearts all around this world. But to be a part of that and to have that, because it supports our spiritual understanding deepening. And when we get a chance in our classes here, I'll show you some of the science about what that change looks like that we can measure. Imagine what it's like on what we can measure. And so I thought, well, if that's true, what would I want to know? And I realized, okay, you don't need to know that for that to be good. Why is this pushing at my heart? I realized there is a way of receiving And I have a sense that you often practice it when James is speaking because there's, you appreciate him, right? You feel that. And there's an appreciation that begins to have deeper frequencies of love for the material, the wisdom that he shares. Okay. And understand, there are no teachers up here. The teacher is in you. And so it has to do with our receptivity, doesn't it? Can we accept not the ideas? They're great, they're wonderful, but they're all written out in the books anyhow. Just buy the books. Okay, what are we doing? We are sharing that spiritual energy as it deepens in us and awakens our understanding so that we not only know and believe in that goodness of God, we are living in it and experiencing it right in the middle of all this. What a gift that is. And so what I want to say is what a gift you are. That you are on this journey of growth because it does not go to us, it goes through us. And there's a world grateful for the love, the light, the wisdom from where you live. Bless you. My friends, let's close with this beautiful prayer. It is, I'm so glad to do this because this has become one of the, let's see, there it is. Oh, it's not that one. I better stop the share, try it again. I'll get it. This one right here. Oh, double click. That's it. I'll tell you what, I will say it loud and clear. Everybody will, and unless I'll let Robbie do it. He's got the touch here. That is a powerful
One more
logo,
time.
folks. Yes,
Let's try it this way.
All right. So I invite you to really let these beautiful truths be experienced as we share it together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. It's good and it's fun. Amen. Thank you.
Welcome. Let's do our peace song.
And then we'll do announcements.
And then we please don't go anywhere because we have a lot of announcements.